So, good evening, everyone. I'm Soham Biren Ketlariwala, the school ambassador of NSRI. So, and also I'm a student at Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. So, it is a pleasure to speak with all of you today about how undergrad students can begin their research journey. So, like, I wanted to ask, what's the first thing come in your mind, when you hear the word research? You can unmute your mic and speak. Yeah, if anybody has an idea of research, you can raise your hand and you can speak. Yeah, sure. Let me tell you what's the research is. So basically when we say a particular word, let's say research, what comes in most of us mind is that we think of a kind of laboratories, then kind of a complicated mathematics, then AI, then some PhD scholar things. So what research is indeed the research start with something much more simpler. It is done. It was question based one with a very simple question, which is why, how, and how we can improve this. So today, the goal is not to explain research, but to show you what you are particularly capable of. So doing research even as a undergrad student. So today, we'll be discussing what scientific research really means, how scientific papers are written, how to identify research gaps, select research topics, conduct literature review, how AI can accelerate research, and what are the mistakes the people generally make, particularly the beginners. So I'm sure by the end of today's session, you will know exactly how to start your first research project. So the first thing is what is a scientific research? So you can say that particularly scientific research follow this flowchart. First we can see that first we identify the problem, then we do a kind of literature survey, then we find the research gaps and we particularly contribute and we give the recommendations. So the first thing is the systematic review, which is the foundation of research. So basically research is not kind of a guessing or kind of we are copying something, or we are using LLM tools to generate an article. It's not like that. So research, so this is the simple flow chart which explains the structured process. So first what we need to do is first we should observe a problem, then we should ask a question, then we should do a systematic study of existing knowledge which is currently present, and based on that we'll find the research gap and we will particularly test our solution, and if it goes good, we are developing a solution, then particularly we are checking the feasibility as well, how it's applicable to the real world, and what are the parameters or the constraints that we have in our experiment, and we also particular present the limitations of the research. So that's how we draw the conclusion and we recommend the particular methodology. So this is kind of a scientific method each research follows. Maybe it can be systematic review and meta-analysis, or maybe in the computational modeling, or some kind of an AI research projects as well. So even let's say, to explain all of you in a very simple manner, So what you can do is like you can think of a doctor. So what the particular doctor do is like generally when the patient arrives, the doctor doesn't immediately like prescribe medicine. First, it understands the patient's condition. Based on that, it collects or notes the things. Like it can be symptoms. Then they analyze the reports. Then, based on their medical education, they compare with the previous cases, and based on their like education and research or clinical experience, they diagnose and prescribe the treatment. So this is how the research works, exactly the same way. So here, like what we are doing is we are diagnosing the problem before even proposing the solution. So now, like what is the characteristics of a good paper? So every scientific paper answers 4 fundamental questions, which is what is the problem? Like each research problem starts with an kind of an unsolved problem. Like let's say, like we can say that, like let's say like whatever research are particular going on, like they are particularly observing some problems around them, and based on that they are particularly doing the research on that. After that it comes what do we already know, like which is a kind of a literature review. Like before doing any kind of a research, like we should do a systematic review of the previous research which is done, and based on that we create a proposed solution, and and based on that, like we create a new knowledge, like based on the existing knowledge. And the third comes is like what's the missing in the research. So particularly like this is called a research gap. Like let's say if everything is solved, then there is nothing left to research, but it's a kind of a hypothetical scenario. So like each research have their own limitations and own novelties as well. So like the fourth point is like what's the new contributions that we are making. So this is the main like the main crucial part of a project, like which is the novelty. So like because of our novelty and research contribution, our paper deserves to be publication. Remember, like not every paper turns into publication. So research is kind of a, like we are contributing something like that is scientifically meaningful. So now here it's the example of cancer mortality. Here, like particularly like if we read like cancer mortality remains high in low income countries, largely due to delayed diagnosis. So the first sentence itself says cancer mortality remains high. So from this we can observe this is clearly a problem statement. So and after that it particularly says the next statement as early diagnosis can improve the survival rates. So like here particularly this summarize the previous knowledge, which is a kind of a literature review. And after that it says, however, access to affordable screening services remains limited in many underserved communities. So like this is the gap we are particularly finding, that what's the gap is like the screening which is like the affordable screening is like mostly unavailable to like all of the people. So after that they tells us the study evaluates barriers to early cancer diagnosis and propose scalable community-based screening strategies. So here like this is their contribution, like this study, like whatever they did the research, it's particularly their contribution. So now like what we can observe is like the logical flow of these researchers. Like first they're identifying the problem statement, then they are doing the like I can understand it immediately. Yeah. And now the next part comes yeah. This is the thing that I have explained. The problem statement, that literature review, then and interventions. So now it comes about the vaccination, like activity, like it's an example as well. So vaccination rates in many communities remain below recommended level, increasing the risk of disease outbreaks. Prior studies have identified misinformation and lack of awareness as key contributors to vaccine hesitancy. However, the effectiveness of community-based education programs in addressing this barriers is not well understood. So this study assesses the impact of targeted health education on vaccination uptake. So here the
Sir, your voice are interrupting.
Israel Emmanuel, please mute your mic. Eh?
This is how we particularly write the research. Like first, it should be problem statement. Then what are the existing issues are there or the problems are there, and then we have a gap. And like, what are our research contributions specifically? So now it comes. So now it comes the rural education example. So here we can, here it follows the same example. So like the problem statements, then the existing knowledge, then the all. So like what's like what does it mean? The scientific writing actually means. So many students believe scientific writing means like usually it's kind of a difficult English. So this is kind of a false statement. So what scientific writing is simply like we can clear all of you. Hello. Yeah. Like, is my screen visible to all of you, or like, you can let me know here in the chat.
No.
Oh, sir, your screen is not visible.
Reshare your screen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
so it's not.
Yeah. I'm sharing my screen again. Now is it visible?
Yes,
Yeah,
now.
now it's good.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I was explaining like what scientific writing actually means. So like many of us believes that like a scientific writing usually means kind of a difficult English. So this is not true. Like it's like we are clearly explaining like what like what we are doing in the research. So like it should be clear. Then like we should be like particular like we should show our objective of our research, and we should be precise. It's not like we are explaining in depth. Like we should be precise with the length as well. So particularly like if